Marcus Rashford. Oh, glorious! That is a special one.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Little Hour. I am your host, Robert Wallace, and I am here with my special guest, Mr. Courtney Andrews. How you doing? And how are you, mate? How are you?
I'm
And
just
all right, and Mr. Zahir. How do you pronounce your last name?
Abbas.
Ah, very good. Because I don't want to come and say the next word, and you know, right. And I have to say, first of all, we have to get into this game. Real Sociedad 0, Manchester United 1. We won the game, we won the battle, we lost the war. 15 points in a group, and we still come second. How was this possible? But the main crux of the issue is that now we are now second place in the group. And unfortunately, we may have to host a plethora of so-called European giants, like for example, Barcelona, Ajax, and that's a lot of teams that we don't necessarily want to face in February. So I will come to you guys first. I mean, how did you all feel about the game? Like, how did you all feel about the results? Like, how did we play as a team? Courtney, I mean, I'll come to you first.
I'm a little disappointed. I think we should have sealed off the game in the second half. Hats off to David De Gea. He had inspiring performance between the sticks. I still don't know how he make that save, but I want to believe that man miskicked the ball. Because I don't understand how he saved it with the head, but we go leave them physics for on the field. Eric made some interesting changes. I will say that much. Bringing Maguire on to play a centre forward role and such. I think Garnacho had a great game. There is no reason I can see why Eric will not start him on Sunday. He mightn't be able to be effective for a full 90, but he could give you a good 60. So that was kind of promising. Overall, I can't be too disappointed, but I'm not truly excited. I honestly, for years I've been saying UEFA is watering down the Europa League competition by allowing teams that fail in the Champions League to come now. It does nothing to progress the level of football in my respect, because the Europa League season is already long. I think it's 4 or 5 more games than the Champions League teams. But why are you giving a Champions League team that wasn't up to scratch in their particular group? Send them home. That is it. Your competition done.
Right.
And let the Europa League stand on its own 2 feet. But again, I'm not in UEFA, so I don't know how the money does run and with the TV rights and what.
Yeah.
Understand? So that was my take on the game.
All right. So Zahir, I mean, we won the game, but I mean, we lost. I mean, ultimately, right? We did lose ultimately. Now, with these other teams coming down, I mean, what team would you like to face, and what do you think our chances will be in those 2 extra games?
Well, before we get into that, I want to tell Courtney that he's dead on the money there. The reason that UEFA will not change this is purely because of money and TV rights. Because if they didn't do this and they left it straight the way the Champions League format is, where all the group winners go into a pot to draw against the runners-up, right? Looking at group winners and runners up in this UEFA, you think how many people you think gonna pay to see a TV broadcast and buy TV rights for a Union St. Chilois versus Midgetland match? Except maybe the countries that those teams from for their fans to watch it. Right?
Yeah,
but when you
I hear you know, but that's the allure of football. You always have an underdog team. That you know that's the story of football.
Agreed, but then you see by giving these third place winners that second bite of the cherry, you get to throw up now some really potentially interesting matchups. Which brings me to the topic at hand: who would we like to play? Well, it's going to sound crazy, but karma needs to totally bite Barcelona and Ajax in the rear ends because they have players and managers saying, why would they leave their Champions League clubs to come to Manchester United and play in the Europa League? And here it is, you have found yourself demoted and had the possibility of a two-legged playoff where you will come to Old Trafford and possibly get yourself dusted off. And I really hope we get to do that to either Frankie de Jong or the new Ajax manager.
Well, yes. I mean, there's always nice to have a little vengeance, you know, to throw a little salt, you know, on the wounds, you know. But I have to talk about this young man. I mean, to me, Garnacho has come, I mean, not out of nowhere, but he has shown within the last 2 games that he has the qualities that we are looking for in, you know, in our youths. You know, he obviously is only 18 years old, but the boy, he plays with that with no fear. You know, he gives us an extra dimension, right, to on attack. And today he scored, I believe, his first European goal. You know, it was a nice flick from Bruno to Ronaldo. Ronaldo showed his class, and this, you know, and Garnacho, you know, he put that ball away like a seasoned pro. I mean, how did you all guys think? I mean, what did you all think about Garnacho today?
No, for me, he was the man in the match. You know, he was a constant thorn in that along that left side. That right back, I feel sorry for him. Garnacho had his number today. You know, and as I said when we was all talking before the show, he might not be able to give you a full 90 of performance, but what he could give you is a solid 60. He was tracking back. He was when he didn't have the ball, he was making the runs. And I would be very interested to see him, Anthony, and Rashford doing a front three. I think that could be that new trident on top of there, because they're all fluid players. I would like to see him run through the middle because I think he has the speed and the technical understanding to make the proper runs that will confuse defenders. So, you know, I would love to see him start on Sunday, but I don't know what will possibly happen.
When you take into consideration, we have no Bruno on Sunday because he's suspended from accumulating 5 yellow cards. Right? Bruno started on the right-hand side today because there was no Anthony, there was no Sancho. So if you take away Bruno, and if Anthony is not fit and Sancho has, in his limited time so far, in his 2 European outings, Garnacho has impressed me more than Sancho has in the season and a half that he's been here. Right? Now, I'm seeing Chad making a comment there that, you know, Garnacho would usually play on the left. And if you're playing Cristiano or Martial up front, Rashford's going to start on the left. Right? I don't think we're going to have that worry Sunday because something tells me if Martial plays Sunday, he may come on more as a second half sub, right? Rather than risk him. And therefore, you either start with Rashford up front and Garnacho on the left, or Cristiano up front, Garnacho on the left, and then you bring on Rashford, right? On the right-hand side, it's either going to be Anthony or maybe Sancho may get a reprieve if Anthony is not fit because Bruno is definitely not going to play. I think the young man has a will to start, and I think he should get his start.
My question to you is if Bruno not playing on Sunday, who's going to replace him? Because Donny did not look good today. At all.
Well,
there were points in the first half he didn't look bad. There were some good flashes, but Donny, of course, is not match fit. We know this, right? So maybe this is why, he was the first man off the field when substitution time came along. So he has to play some minutes on Sunday, whether he starts or he comes on as a sub, right? And the other thing you're going to have to look at is, if not Donny and Bruno isn't playing as the 10, then Eriksen has to play as the 10, right? Which leaves behind Eriksen to be 2 out of Casemiro, Fred, and Scott. If Eriksen is playing in the number 10 role that Bruno would usually take if somebody else is on the left and somebody else is on the right. Right? So you have to have Donny there to either start and then give somebody else a chance, or to spell Eriksen a little bit coming to the end of the second half. Even though we have only two league games and then we play Villa also, I believe, in the League Cup, our first round of the League Cup, right? So we have 3 games basically before they head off to the World Cup. Has he done enough to play instead of Bruno on Sunday? Well, Bruno can't play.
What's the question that I was not going to ask? I mean, did he really do enough today? Because in the presser, Ten Hag did say that Donny has to take his chance, and today was his chance. And to me, he didn't do enough. Now, one could say yes, this is his first game back, which is true. But if you are told that this is your chance to do something, then it shouldn't matter if this is your first game back. You're supposed to go out there, and perform in that same number 10 role.
Now here's the thing. Because there's no Bruno on Sunday, it means if you are going with a similar arrangement as today, you have to find somebody for the right side, right? And if Anthony is not fit, you have to either give Sancho a reprieve and bring him back into the team on the right, or you go with Ilanga, neither of whom have been impressive.
No.
Right? So you have to figure out something that's going to work on the right side. The left side has options because Garnacho has taken his 2 starts very well, right? And you have Rashford, right? So you have those 2 options to the left side. We know that putting Marcus on the right-hand side is going to give us nothing.
Yes.
Right? We've seen that before. So Ten Hag has the decision to make. I personally, if it came down to finding a way to accommodate all of them, I would possibly start Rashford up front, have Cristiano coming on as a substitute at some point if he's in Ten Hag's plans. Therefore, if you are starting Rashford up front, then you have the left-hand side for Garnacho, right? And the right-hand side, you could try and figure out how you're going to use either Sancho or Ilanga or somebody else who we probably just not considering at this exact point in time, right? And see what magic we can work, because today is done and dusted, and that 3 points on Sunday is important.
No, yeah, because fair enough, because we have to obviously, we can't dwell on today. We got to look forward to tomorrow. But I have to ask a question to you guys now. Who would you like to face in the next round of the Europa League? Now, these are the teams that we could possibly face. Ajax, Barcelona, Bayern Leverkusen, FC Salzburg, Juventus, Sevilla, Shakhtar Donetsk, or Sporting. Now, we have a history with Ajax, taking their players and their players having shots at us. We have a history of Barcelona, those two finals, Frankie. We have a history with Juventus, with true Ronaldo. We have a history with Sporting. We have Bruno. So I would like to know, which team do you honestly think will give us the best chance to go through? And who do you think the FIFA gods will give us?
We getting either Ajax or Barca. There's no two ways about it. We're
I don't
gonna
think
get
we
one
get
of
us.
the two.
Nah, that big money. You know what you see? You have to understand how this racket does run. They can't put that racket in the first round. In that round of 32, nah. So we'll get somebody like Shakhtar or one of the other lower teams.
Right.
Lower teams. And the round of 16 is where the Bacchanal go happen. So I probably Shakhtar or one of the other lower teams.
The romantic tie would be for Cristiano and Bruno to go back home to Sporting.
Yeah.
That's the romanticism of that tie. Right? Will it necessarily mean we'll have an easier game? Who knows? The aura around those two guys and what they've achieved back on the pitch where their careers would have started for them and really kicked off. Right? Who knows? I always like to say when it comes up to something like this, I would prefer somebody we never played before. I'd prefer the opportunity to go to a new stadium, experience something a little different, right? And there's some teams in there that we haven't really played in a long, long time. I think Leverkusen, I can remember Leverkusen knocking us out of a Champions League many, many years ago. When I believe Ivica Olic was their striker. And he scored against us to send them through. Right? So we have options there. I want to see us get into the round of 16. And
right.
if you're looking at, getting people out of the way so that we may have some sort of a better say and a better shout in the round of 16. Yeah, we gotta hope. We gotta hope the other side stumble.
Well, no. Remember, the reason why I said what I said is because I expect that Juventus is going to be back at full strength by the time this fixture comes around in February. They've had their injury list is pretty long. A couple of their players are probably going to miss the World Cup, but should be back in time for the set of return fixtures.
I hope you're not including Paul Pogba in that because whether he's back or not don't matter.
Not so much Pogba, but Di Maria, there's about 8 or 9 players I saw on their list that were injured. So yeah, I would prefer to at least for the round 32 avoid the big boys. If we had a battle, we battle from the round of 16.
Makes sense.
No, I would tell you. I would rather just have a big team. Just get the big team out of the way. Get those guys out of the way first, because either which way, the longer that we are in this competition, the harder the teams will be. So if it is that we could face a Barca or Juventus, and we could beat them, that will give us a very good barometer to see where we are. Because I do believe, yes, like you said, Juventus will be back at full strength, but I think we will be as well. I think by that time, Martia will hopefully be back. I think our players will be more in sync. Hopefully, the owners would have brought players in January, which is the hope. I don't think it will happen, but my
You see my
hope is
face?
that
Robert,
Yeah.
you see my face?
yeah.
You asking for plenty, but
Yeah. That well, that is what I had to do. I mean, I have to hope because Eric has instilled hope back into my heart. Unfortunately, so now I'm here hoping again. Yeah, because before I had no hope and it was good because I could have coasted, and I could have watched your guys spiral, out of control. But now I have hope, and now I care again, So I would like us to face a simple team, but to me there are no easy teams because we don't play a brand of football that makes things easy for us. Because, like, for example, like today should have. I'm not saying that today should have been a slam dunk, but I think the game plan it should have been a little bit more easier to do, and we made this game very very difficult for ourselves. So my hope is that by that time we would iron out these kinks. We could find a way to score more than 2 goals in a game. And but if it were up to me, I would love to have Barcelona just just for the fans, just for the fans, just for those people. Just to have Frankie come to Old Trafford. He will get the ball on the line, and Casemiro will just hit him, a barge, and he will fall, in a little, we have a little drain, we ride it. I mean, it'll
yeah,
be.
but you're real sad, You're
No,
real sad.
you guys remember when PSG came to Old Trafford and
Mhm.
Ashley Young hit Di Maria, a tackle, and my boy flew into the billboard.
Who he hit? I trying to remember who he hit though. I remember the tackle what who it was.
Well,
Ashley
Di
Young,
Maria,
yeah.
he hit Di Maria.
And
Oh
boy,
yes.
and it was
And the thing about it is, these guys, I mean, even though Casemiro is considered a modern hard man of football in how he plays the game, right? These guys still are 100% softer than the old Vidic and Keane versions of hard men.
yeah.
So
Correct.
you could imagine if Frankie was coming to play a guy with Roy Keane's attitude after you embarrass our club, diss our
Yeah.
club, malign our club, he was gonna bleed on that field. There would have been blood. But I mean, just looking at our fixtures in February, right? Because the two-legged playoff is going to be at some point in February.
Yeah.
We have Crystal Palace at home, Leeds away, Leicester at home, Brentford at home. Right? Now, on paper, that don't sound bad. That don't sound bad on paper, right?
Right.
No.
Given the fact of where Leeds and Leicester are on the table right now. Right? And, well, we owe Brentford are coming back down to earth after what happened in game 2 of the season.
Yeah. Them they need to get about 6 and remind them the place in the league.
Exactly.
So we had a target. We targeting 12 points from those 4 games. How much is this two-legged playoff going to disrupt preparations for that? Right? Because at some point, and the chances are, knowing that we are Manchester United, as much as we might hope for a side or want a smaller side, we know that European football is never kind to us in any of its draws.
No.
We always get usually the hardest possible draw we could get. Right? So even in this Europa, Sociedad was actually, in my opinion, one of the best teams in the Europa competition on paper and reputationally, and they end up in our group. Right? So we don't usually ever get the easy end of it, so we're going to have possibly 2 hard games. Well, the best I think we should hope for is for a playoff against a team where we don't have much long distance traveling to do.
Yeah.
Right? Short travel. So, as I say, Portugal is perhaps the romantic dream situation.
Spain.
Portugal, Italy, Spain, right? Holland, somewhere very close by. Short trip, get there, play the game, get back home. Right? Because I figure these playoff games will be a midweek something, right? So if you're looking at a Wednesday, then you're possibly going to have to be back and play on the Saturday, right?
Well, didn't the league say that they? Well, at least I was reading somewhere that the league said that until you are eliminated from the competition, they have all the teams that are participating in Europa, all their games would be more or less held on a Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. The league came out and made that pronouncement a while ago.
All right, because you know,
realize every time that we have a game week on a Thursday, all our games are on a Sunday.
Well, I guess and that's why you still have all this date to be confirmed on the Manchester League game fixtures, because they would have had to know if we were still in this playoff or not, right?
Yeah, so I think they only do it on a monthly basis, so that once your team is there,
Well, even so, if that means we play in 4 league games on a Sunday, therefore the latest we're going to play during the week is Thursday, right? Which is still going to be a quick turnaround, right? But I saw earlier on in the chat, somebody had made the comment that we basically need more goals. Simple as that. We're not scoring enough. We are not scoring enough. We are being outscored by almost everybody.
That has been a problem for us for a while. Even though Ronaldo, last season when Ronaldo hit, I think it was 20-something goals for the season.
Yeah.
We were still struggling to score.
Yeah.
We've been struggling for a while.
We finished last season with a goal difference of 0.
Yep. 0.
I can't remember anything even remotely close to that in my lifetime. Right?
Yeah.
So that tells you how bad the struggle is. Now, on the other end of that, whilst we're struggling to score, we no longer conceding 2, 3, and 4.
No.
Right? So, inch by inch, the goal difference is going up. But others are raising their goal difference in leaps and bounds. At the start of the season, Leicester couldn't beat nobody, and all of a sudden they started to score 3 and 4 goals regularly. Newcastle has started doing that. Right? Arsenal has been making a habit of it. Well, City, the less we say about them, the better. Right? So, if we want to hang in the top 4, we can't hang in the top 4 trying to win every game 1-0, 2-0. Because goal difference is going to come back to bite us, as it did when City won that title on goal difference.
Right.
Now remember, that was the season where Ferguson lose the title on goal difference. What did he do? Went out and buy the Golden Boot winner in Van Persie and brought him to Old Trafford.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for us, we can't do that this wrongs, because the man who I suspect would win the Golden Boot just came to the league.
He's not leaving, right? And even if we try to get anybody else, realistically, at the end of the season, if we finish in the top 4 or not, there is no way we are getting the type of striker we really want from anybody who is in the top 6 to 8 in the league. We're not going to get their striker.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that.
What do you mean? So Haaland is out. We're not getting Haaland.
Outside of Haaland, if the price is right, anything is possible.
I can't see Nunez moving after 1 year in Liverpool.
Who?
Darwin Nunez. I can't.
Who?
Robert, you're wicked.
Who?
Robert, you're wicked. No, I know why you're going who, you know. Because Nunez have his namesake on the bench in Robert Firmino. Right? So I know why he's going who. Right? There's a Robert thing. But
that
Robert, so you go flush
Darwin. No, we gotta get flush. Darwin Nunez, right? Is a fraud. Darwin Nunez is a fraud. He's a fraud. People need to understand he's a fraud. All he has is the ponytail. That's it. He's a fraud.
So in other words, he's Andy Carroll 2.0 then.
Finally, somebody saw my vision. I told
a shorter Andy Carroll.
I told people
you're comparing man to Andy Carroll there, no?
I told people this is Andy Carroll part 2. And men lambaste me. people call me names. Now here I am. I does see things, right? I see a lot of things, I have 4 eyes, I see the future, I know
So
these things,
if you say he's not up to scratch, we won't
No,
get,
no, no, no.
we can't get Jesus from Arsenal, even if we wanted him, right?
No,
I don't.
that ain't making sense.
No.
There's no way on God's green earth Harry Kane is coming to Manchester United.
No,
Unless we're
that.
willing to give Tottenham $200 million.
But Courtney did say a very valuable point. If the price is right,
But
If
would you
price
pay that
is
kind of
right.
money for Harry Kane?
right now, no,
Right.
no.
Even if this man goes to the World Cup and miraculously drags England to the last 4 or even the final, you still can't see him. With Harry, as much as you can consistently say
But
he'll
the
get.
problem is not Harry, The problem is Daniel Levy. But we can go get into that conversation. Go leave that alone.
No.
Right,
Yeah,
Daniel Levy will demand. I
But
tell him
You also need to
200
remember
million.
that Tottenham is right now trying to finance a new stadium.
Right?
So they go have to sell some assets. And I don't
Well,
really
they ha-
continue to be their coach at the end of the season.
No.
Well, his contract is up at the end of the season. Remember when he took them over, he only took an 18-month contract, which will be
Right.
up at the end of this season.
So they had to look for a new coach and they're building a new stadium. Trust and believe they're going to get rid of the asset.
Well, it may not be Harry Kane. It might be. If they had a cut losses, they may quicker cut people like Son, right, than people like Kane.
Son is what? Son is 27?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Right. Let me see. Google is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Son,
Yeah.
personal.
It always comes down to the like they like to say the British passport. When
Whoa.
clubs had it,
Son is 30.
well, look at that.
okay.
And Harry is about 30, right? 30 this year.
I think Harry is 30.
29.
29 going on
Should
30.
be,
29.
yeah, should be 30 before the season finish,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
If
you
they have
can't,
to sell,
you can't,
What are
you can't charge me 200 million for a 30-year-old player.
well, correct, but the point is, if they have to cut off one of those assets, it will not be the one with the British passport.
Fair
There
enough.
is an underlying bias for the English players, right? And your clubs want you to have your homegrown stars, you hold on to them, right? You look now, who are the other teams in and around that mix? Newcastle currently is in 4th, right?
All right.
If they manage to hold on to a European spot, whether it be Europa or 4th place, I don't see anybody that is
Well,
important to that process leaving.
The
Right?
only person that we would buy in would be
Callum Wilson or Guimaraes.
What's his
Bruno
name?
Guimaraes?
Nah, not him. Something with
Who's
A.
that? Almiron.
Right, Almiron. But he's a
But
winger, so
they bought Alexander Isak, right? They bought that young forward. And he's
Right.
been in, right? So they've planned for the future. But what I'm saying is, if they do get a European spot, I can't see them letting anybody who has been important to that process leave,
No.
right? They're going to want to reward the players that got them there. Because for practically all of those players, barring the Kieran Trippier, this might be their first foray into anything European. Right? So you got to reward your squad. And then after Newcastle, you come to us, and under us, the Brentfords and Liverpools of the world.
Brentford could lose Ivan Toney.
Yeah,
They could lose Ivan Toney, but are you all confident that Ivan Toney can step it up?
Well, he don't have to. He just has to come and do a job. Because remember, I mean, it depends. I mean, are you bringing a striker to start, or are you bringing a striker for depth? Because we already have Martial coming back. I don't believe that Ronaldo will leave in January. I don't believe that. I believe that he will be here
No,
until
we're not talking about in January. Yeah? We're talking about at the end of the season.
at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Now, if it is the end of the season, then no, then 20, then I would say no.
In any case, the January window, I don't think it's likely you would get a striker from any Premier League club in the January window to come to us. If Ronaldo does. You have to go outside England to get a striker in the January window. No Premier League team that have ambitions of finishing anywhere on the table going to weaken their squad in January by selling their best striking option. Right?
Well,
so unless you're looking at the championship and you're seeing somebody in the championship who really hotting it up, like how Mitrovic used to be a championship bully every time Fulham get demoted.
Yeah, but the championship and the Premier League is two different things.
Very exactly.
Different things.
We have seen it where strikers have lit the championship on fire and come in the Premier League and couldn't make a note.
Ollie Watkins.
Oh God, I didn't want to call no names, boy.
Yeah, but it's true.
We're doing my yesterday, boy.
Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins was the guy that was signed to replace Ivan Toney. No, it's not Ivan Toney. He replaced it. It was Ivan Toney signed to replace Ollie Watkins. I think that's what it was. I think Ollie Watkins was really hot it up at Brentford. I could be wrong on this guy, so if anybody does the Google research and I'm wrong, let me know and I have no problem retracting it.
Right.
But I think Ivan Toney was Ollie Watkins was at Brentford, had a fantastic run, big top scorer, big money move to Villa, and then they signed Ivan Toney as his replacement.
Yeah.
Right? And where is Ollie Watkins right now? Right? You can't even see him on any goal scoring job.
Well, he and Steven Gerrard right now in the same place. Right?
Looking forward.
Yeah, exactly. The two of them.
Nah, man, you know that Watkins on a squad, man.
No.
You know, when we do the old talk session on our weekend, right? We just had the boo boo man for the week. Imagine how does it feel, boy? I wonder on our side, but how Gerard feeling to know that he gave short bus and Brendan Rodgers still in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Why only want to go down the rabbit hole today, boy?
Not because that is where we are.
End of the day, the maths don't lie. Leicester cannot afford to pay that 22 million buyout clause.
No.
If they cannot afford it, trust and believe, Brendan Rodgers would have gave short bus long time.
Well, if they wanted to sell us James Maddison for a little 25, they could pay off Brendan Rodgers.
Oh no. He could stay where he is. I mean, I don't think the weird thing is I think with this team, like all midfield, yes, needs to work. But I think, like you said, goals, wins, titles, and we need goals. You know, and to me, I would pay the money for Ivan Toney, even if it's $60 to $70 million in January. I'll do it. Because you can't tell me we don't have the money. We have the money.
Well, not according to the people who want to release the money. They may want to release the money. And here's a little heads up to it. Something tells me that as tight as the purse strings will be in January, it'll be even tighter in the summer next year. I can't see.
They can't want the team and not make significant investment.
All right. Do they really want the team to perform? That's the next thing that I ask yourself. If all they are thinking about is the Americanized, franchised, make money for the owner's method of ownership and management, then results don't matter to them.
Yeah, but you see, unlike the American standard, where in their market they could still get people to buy jerseys and whatnot because people love the team and all that, bullshit. That don't work in European football.
No.
Your sponsors remember, Adidas has a clause in their contract that says if the team is not playing in Champions League, the club has to pay Adidas lost revenue.
Right. So which we already did this year.
Let's have them kind of clauses in the deals.
Right. So we've done that this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so we've had to pay lost revenue this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Every time that we've had to play in the Europa League, we've had to play. No, the first time it happened would have been under Jose, I think. One of them, either Jose or Louis.
Louis' first season. Louis' first season because.
And then the next year, if we were still in Europa, we had to pay.
Yeah.
But now, since they updated the contract, every time that we go down to play in Europa, we have to pay them.
You see,
you ready? Glazers want to spend our money?
No.
If you look at the argument and say, okay, there's validity on both sides. You're buying a striker for depth or you're buying a striker for now to start for goals, right? When we were at our most successful period, this is what we had. We had 4 strikers. Remember well, 1999, the Champions League final. He took off Cole and York, brought on Sheringham and Solskjaer, who ends up scoring the 2 goals to win the trophy first. Right? So they were legitimate backup strikers, but their quality was high enough that they could have walked into most teams and start. Right? And we don't have that right now. And we are trying our best. Okay, if this was Cristiano of 5-10 years ago, you would still say he'd walk on to any starting 11 in the world. It isn't. He's not walking on to any starting 11 in the world anymore.
No.
The argument can be made that even a fully fit Anthony Martial may not do that also.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when that is your extent of your quality at the out number 9 position, partner, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You are in big trouble.
All right, gentlemen. Let's move on to our second to last segment. This is called On the Record. And I know you guys have been there before, but to everyone who doesn't know, this segment is called On the Record, where we get our guests to answer a very tough question, a very hard question. They have to say their answer. They cannot be on the fence. And I will record the answer. So later on, for prosperity, we will see if you guys are really and truly football gurus, or are you all just Harry Maguires? Are you a Harry Maguire? No, I know none of you guys are Harry Maguires. I know that, right? I know you all guys are football guys.
I can't play number 9, boy. I'm not a striker, boy. I am not Harry Maguire.
Oh, go on, don't do that now. Don't do that.
No, I mean, if it's one thing today, I believe I saw a pig fly today. I saw a pig fly today. I saw one. I saw a pig fly, a pink pony. Yeah, I saw things today. But this is the question today. Will we make it through to the next Europa group stage? Round of 16.
Yes.
And yes. All right. And who do you think we will face in that group? Well, sorry. In that match.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when it gets to that round of 16 draw, there's no restriction on teams from same conference, right?
I can't see.
Because I think from round of 16 you have no protection, so you could draw somebody from your same domestic league, right?
Yeah.
Once we get in through, and are waiting for national.
All right. Vast. No. Okay, no problem. That's not let me okay, so for our game in February, we will go through.
We will go through.
Yes. Will it be comfortable? Or will it be squeaky bum time?
I wouldn't say it will be a squeaky bum, but I don't think it will be as comfortable as we might want it to be. I think it all depends on if we play home first or away first.
All right. Fair enough.
Right? If we play away first and we leave the away leg with a good enough victory with a comfortable away goals lead, Well, yeah, back home it will be a little
But-
easier.
Remember the away goals rule no
Wait,
longer.
wait, wait. Yeah,
Yes,
away
that-
goes rule that way. I
No,
think
that
that
is
way.
It's head to head,
definitely,
so
yeah.
I would prefer to play the first leg.
Away.
First leg away. Yeah, play the first leg away, get the pressure out of the way, right? And then bring them home to Trafford, where hopefully we're riding a nice momentum by winning our league games and everything is gelling well. We didn't have any significant injuries post World Cup, and everybody is fit and firing. Yeah.
you are real faith boys are here, boy. I'll get that.
Boy, well, you either walk in faith or you die alone, you know, bro.
Mm.
Because
Right? And as Chad does say, Red Devils don't die, we multiply.
while I would love to have Zahir's faith,
Yeah.
I think this World Cup will mash up plenty players.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Because even though it's going to be along the same lines of when, well, actually no, it's only in England they really have much games in December.
Mhm.
Everybody stops for their winter break,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so it's going to be a shock to them because remember the World Cup has always been 4 match days. You're guaranteed 4 match days, and those 4 match days are very quick. You turn around time, you're playing. Sometimes you play in that 2-week span that the group stage is. You play 3 games in what 6 or 7 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but yeah.
it's going to be an intense. But anyway, we digressing. I'll get hand you back, sir. You go ahead. You finish your point.
No, we waiting to hear you on the record.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We will get through.
Okay.
In the round of 16, I suspect we will be playing Barcelona or Juventus.
Mhm.
So by saying that, you don't expect we get in either one of those.
No, I
In
don't think we
this
get
round.
one of those in the round of 32. I tell you, the money has to make sense.
Mm.
Eh,
I know that. I hear you.
I don't want to put this out in YouTube verse, but I'm going to say it anyway. The Mafia need to ensure that they have as much TV rights as they could get. So what they will do is set it up in such a way that Juventus, Ajax, Leverkusen, and all those other big teams that came down, they're going to end up in the last 16. And they will knock out all the domino teams that Zahir was talking about earlier. And then you would have on paper, you would have UEFA Champions League quality Europa League.
All right.
So I mean, when you look at it, right, you call names Barcelona, Ajax, Juventus, us.
Mm.
These are all clubs with multiple Champions League trophies in their cabinet,
Mm.
right? So I just want, if somebody has to eliminate Arsenal, it has to be us. At this point, they finished top of their group, so they're not in this 2-leg playoff.
Mm.
So they sit in pretty wait until February done and that draw takes place, right?
All right.
Then let it be us, because that elephant has to fall off that branch at the top of that tree at some point or the other. And
And it
by
should be
us
us.
eliminating them, when we eliminate them, it will start the ball rolling to derail the entire season.
Mm. Hey, I have to say I love the enthusiasm, but I would say yes, we will go through. I think so. I think we will get a little small team. It'll be in February, so we'll get a little small team. From the 16 to go up, it will be big team after big team because again, the money have to be made, right? So I think we will get a biggish team in our round. I would love it to be Arsenal, but I don't want Arsenal because as much as I know we can beat them, if we don't beat them and they go on to win the league and the Europa League, you know what they're going to say? We have a double. And that'll be their talk for the next 3, 4, 8 years. And you know what they're going to say? That on the way to this double, they beat us. Remember how we were in that FA Cup when we beat Arsenal, when Giggs took off his jersey and waved, and to this day we still threw that in the face. They will have that on us, right? And I don't want them to have anything on us at all. So if we have, no, you see, I have hope, right? But my heart is like a Grinch heart. It's small, right?
No,
it's small.
Arsenal has proven to us that they are usually the architects of their own downfall.
Right.
Now, when even when we look at you look at World Cup, I agree with you. The World Cup is going to mash up a lot of teams, but our most injury-prone players, the ones who we are usually the most concerned about keeping fit, won't really be involved at the World Cup. I don't think even if Martial recovers and goes, I don't expect him to play a big role in the World Cup. Right? I think I was reading somewhere that Varane's earliest date back, even if he goes to the World Cup, might be their last group game.
You're right.
Right? Then who else you are looking at where you worry about injuries? Marcus?
That's it.
Listen, I don't have any hopes of England making it out of the group stage. I actually would prefer to see them eliminated.
Zahir, your argument really loose today, boy. On paper, Zahir, they have one of the most complete teams in the World Cup on paper.
But it's England. It's England.
You know, this is not a World Cup show. So we going to do all our analysis.
Right.
When we have any World Cup show, we go have this conversation.
Lovely.
All right. Well, that will lead us into our final section of the day. My favorite time of the show. The top shotter and boo-boo man. For all those who don't know, the top shotter is that person, that guy, that girl, that team, who's having the best week, having the best time. Everything is wonderful. They have all the numbers for Playway and Lotto. They are living life to the fullest. And the boo-boo man is just that person where everything goes wrong. A bird shit on their head, in their mouth. They come home and they find the wife embedded with Harry Maguire, and they don't know why. Jesus, why? Why is this person here? The same way we saw Harry Maguire playing striker today. The same way. Boo-boo man. So, I'll ask Courtney first. Give me your top shotter and your boo-boo man.
My top shotter for the week is young Garnacho.
Right.
Took his start well, gave us a nice enthusiastic finish. Was looking at a threat for the entire time that he was on the field. Hats off to the young man. My boo-boo man for the week is Barcelona. All our rate of talk and all our what I would like to say is creative accounting that they have done over the summer to keep new players and to add new players when we all know they didn't have no money. For you to crash out of the Champions League and to come down to the lowly Europa League, is not good. It's not a good one. Not for a club of your stature. No. And they were training another boo man too. To all them Barca fans who feel it wasn't thing, come and watch. We go live with Oli on a Thursday. That is not it.
Well said. Zahir.
I think I can't disagree with Courtney. I'll have to go with Garnacho for the top shotter. Because the young man, for your first goal in European competition, was a beautiful goal. Right? You couldn't script it any better. I think he is showing. Look, it's pretty clear by now that he had some little issues during preseason. Needed a little bit of an attitude adjustment. And clearly the fact that he's getting the start means the manager is confident that he's gotten his head on straight. So kudos to the young man, top shotter for the week. The boo-boo man. I'll have to go with the wizard himself, boy. Graham Potter. Chelsea thought they were hiring Harry Potter. But Lord, Father, you nurture a team. You keep a team up in the Premiership. You start the end last season beating us. 4-0, I believe it was. Start this season beating us. You gotta say 3-0 because the goal we scored that game was our own goal. Right? You bust out from that team and go into big boy club in London. Take your London boys down to Brighton and get your tail rinsed. 4-0. Right? Clearly, somebody has been using the stupefy spell a little too literally.
Oh, good. Hey. I agree. Graham Potter is as I said before, Graham Potter is a fraud. The same like Darwin Nunez frauds. I knew that. No. Graham Potter is a fraud.
Hold on.
Man tried a spell when called him Leviosa. Wrong.
What I would say about Potter is Potter may not be at this stage in his career a top 6 coach. We all know that different caliber coaches. There are coaches who will be consistently mid-table coaches, and anytime they go up into a higher bracket, they are found out. No, he was in and this is not a knock on the Scottish League. He was in a league that was under the standard. He was in a championship league.
Courtney, you, I, or Robert could go to Scotland and coach Rangers or Celtic and win the league.
I know, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Well, all right. I'll take that. But let me say, this man who get fired from Tottenham the other day, Nuno.
Right.
Nuno's not a coach. But when you come into that elite top 6 style of coaching and dealing with those level of players, it's a whole different kettle of fish. I think Graham Potter is out of his league in Chelsea. It's unfortunate that he should have known to himself that, hey, this is not the work for me. Let me stay where I good. Let me get a couple more seasons. Build my resume a little bit, and then if the opportunity arises again, make that shift.
There was precedent set, and he didn't pay attention. The man should have seen what happened to Moisey when Moisey tried to step up to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair to Moyes had a much tougher time than Graham Potter has, because Moyes' team was actually a champion team. They won the league the year before, and they were still reeling for somebody who had 13 years at the helm. It's 13? I think it's 13. It might be 13. It might be more. More than 13. Whatever the time is. So, Potter needed to understand that, look, he should have finished the job that he had with Brighton. If you realize, anytime that a coach leaves a team mid-season and goes to another team,
it's always
in that same league, it is always end up bad. Always. So Potter should have known, thanks, but no thanks. If at the end of the season all they still want me, I will consider it dead. I am committed to this Brighton project. I want to finish it here.
Well, I don't know. No.
Martin just want to come in with some kind of loose argument. These are was any days, but
what we say, but no, but I mean, but to be fair to Eddie Howe, Eddie Howe left one mid for another mid, because that's what we realize. Newcastle right now is a mid-table team. They only happen to have money.
No.
Yes.
I think the thing with Eddie Howe quickly. The people who are running Newcastle understand the reality of where that club is now. They understand the reality of what they could get out of this squad. I don't think they're letting the fact that they're in 4th place right now bamboozle them or distract them. The appointment of Eddie Howe said to me, they had money, they could have go out and get any manager they wanted, really and truly. They could have convinced any manager to leave their job and come because the money would have been real good. But they got this guy because they know this is not going to be their permanent guy. This is going to be the guy who's going to help them take this group of players to the next level. And when they start to get to Europe and get to Europe consistently, where they're ready to now bring in the elite talent, right? They're going to get the elite caliber manager. But this is the transition guy. And he understands that he is the transition guy. So he knows what he's doing. He knows he's punching. He's punching at his weight. They really and truly they enforce because our season hasn't gone the way it should be going. Liverpool season hasn't gone the way it would usually go, and Chelsea season hasn't gone where it would usually go. Right? And really and truly they should have been the teams in 4th, 5th, 6th, with Newcastle somewhere 7, 8, or 9. Right?
True.
So when you factor that in, the 4th is really flattering because the teams that would have normally been there having bad years or inconsistent years. So I wouldn't rip Eddie Howe. I would say Eddie knows what he has to do and he's doing it.
All right. Well, I will give my 2. My first top shotter, I will have to agree. Garnacho right now is doing it big. I mean, the youth man has come on and he has really, put a stamp, on this team. I mean, I'm not saying that he will start a game. I'm not saying that he has disposed of Sancho or Rashford or whoever, but he has at least put a toe in the door. He has shown the coach I can step up. I could adjust my attitude. I'm here to work, and we are now seeing results. And long may it continue. And I mean, I love the guy from Argentina, and your hero is Ronaldo, not Messi. Ronaldo. I love that. And my boo-boo of the week has to go to Klopp and Liverpool. Klopp and Liverpool has been in such shit. It is not funny. This guy is blaming the rain, the sun, the grass, the cow, the cat, the rat, his wife, his ex-wife, his child. I didn't pee today. I didn't do all the reasons as to why you cannot win a game. You are just shit. Understand that? That's all I gotta say.
I'm giving you one more.
One more. Okay.
When we go to Anfield, we have to wear the green kit, so that when they lose, he will come out and say, "The kit was too green. We couldn't tell them apart from the grass."
Exactly. And we should. No, we should. Because remember, according to ESPN and Sky and all the pundits, this is the greatest team of all time. The greatest. This was
the greatest rebuild job in English football.
In all of history, these men won one league in 6 years. Won one Champions League against a shit Tottenham. And it wasn't even a good Champions League. Does any of you remember how the goal scored? Do you remember how?
No.
Do you remember how? No, you don't. You know why? It didn't matter. It didn't happen.
I didn't watch it.
Thank you. That game never happened.
I don't remember watching that game. Come on.
You see, you're still here and you're still thinking. You're still thinking, right? Yeah.
I know they win, but I
right,
can't remember the game.
Because the game was so unimportant and so uninspiring, right? And they celebrated this win as though, Van Dijk, this horrible man, this guy with a ponytail. Oh, I'm the best defender in the world ever. No, you're not. You are a fraud, right? You are a fraud. The goalkeeper is a fraud. Salah is not the man. Liverpool sold the wrong guy. They should have sold Salah and kept Mane. But no, you get rid of Mane, and now you're left with Salah. and you have nothing. Jota not working, right? Nothing in your team. You have to. You're using James Milner as a right back. No, miss me with all that. To me, Liverpool and club need to take all of their boo-boos for the week and for the month, for the year. This team is garbage, and I revel in it. I'm so happy that the frauds have been found out. Because these guys are frauds. Humongous.
I just want to quickly tell. I see Martin asking a question there. If I follow cricket as well, I'm happy that he agrees with what I was saying about how. But yes, Martin, I am extremely involved in secondary schools cricket. I'm actually the third vice president of the secondary schools cricket league.
Hey,
So I've been working.
Secondary schools, Zahir. Well, we can do this on a different show, but
Yeah.
we need to have a talk about the issues that we're gonna have, that we currently have when it comes to youth sports, and because we're trying to fit cricket, football, athletics, rugby, and all and sundry into a very small schedule, and the rest of the world is carrying on without us because our athletes only play particular sports for a certain amount of time, whereas in
When you want to do that, make sure you schedule part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, because bro, we gonna be talking.
I'll go talk to President Chad. We will have something, man.
Because during
stuff to talk about.
During the World Cup, we have nothing United based to talk about.
No.
So we have to. I mean, how much shows are we gonna do on World Cup games? Every game will not feature United players. We're gonna do shows on the games that feature United players, I'm sure, right? But after that,
but we have time in between. We have 8 days in between the end of the halt of the season and the start of the World Cup.
Yeah.
President Chad,
we got plan. Right? All I want to say is next week Monday, regardless of who we draw in our two-legged playoff, this is what I am praying for. Real Madrid versus PSG, Bayern Munich versus Liverpool, Chelsea versus Inter Milan.
You wanted
and of those three, Madrid is going to win, Bayern is going to win, and Inter Milan is going to win.
You looking for real revenge thing, boy? Oh, go, boy.
Of course. I would have said City versus PSG, but it would mean one of the teams I don't like will go forward.
Right.
So let Madrid knock them out from now on, boy. Anytime a crying Messi is always a good Messi, right?
Thank you very much.
He has to cry with PSG, and down the road in December he'll be crying again.
No, but I tell earlier, and I went on the record and said that the FIFA gods have set up the World Cup in such a way that they're going to try to get
Portugal
versus Argentina.
Yes.
If they had gotten that, remember there was a year in Champions League where it was on course
Barca Madrid.
Yeah.
And I think Barca got knocked out.
Something so I can't remember.
Yeah, because I think that's the one where they won the La Decima.
Yeah.
Right. If they had got that final, it would not matter here. But you see how this is the final time that these two superstars will be on the world stage? Bet you what $1. You see now Argentina.
Settle it, manos y manos, win your trophy and go home with it. Winner take all.
Well, I wish y'all guys luck. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it because I know what will happen. The game will start, and FIFA will be corrupt, and they will find a way to make Messi win.
Yeah, right.
You know why? Because Messi's a fraud. I tell him that already. He's a fraud. He's a hobbit.
I wouldn't go so far, Robert. Although I don't have no court clothes, so I wouldn't go so far.
Listen, man. I have money for court and lawyer. I straight. I always have my money. I always have my money, always.
You see, that is why we needed Devin here to give you the disclaimer. He just need to be here to give you the disclaimer.
The
Oh,
views
good.
And again,
of this
Chad had to
show,
record that disclaimer
yeah.
and put it up as a
the
banner.
views
Yeah.
expressed on this show are
Correct.
not necessarily the views of the United Hour or Devon Time.
Right.
Correct.
And-
Correct.
oh yeah. Hey.
Great show,
Well,
gentlemen. Great show, gentlemen.
yes, I have to say, I mean, it was a great show today. I mean, again, we won the game. We you know we lost the war, but I have faith. You know, you guys have faith. And come February, we'll win those 2 games and we'll move on. And hopefully, we will meet Arsenal and we'll deal with Arsenal. And you know, you guys keep putting hope in my heart. I don't want hope, but you know what? It is infectious. It is very, very infectious. You know, and you know what? I'll go with hope. I'll go with hope. Yes, we are gonna meet Arsenal and we're gonna beat them back. Bad legs, real bad legs. You know, so thank you again for my guests. Thank you again for everyone in the comments for coming on, and as always, thank you for watching. Continue to like the program, share the program. You know, do all of the good stuff that is needed, and we will continue to have our shows. We will continue to have programs. Keep tuned to the channel. And as President Shad always says, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply.
We multiply.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.